Hello BookTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome back to the Owlery. Today I'm going to be bringing you my mid-April wrap-up. So I've read some really great books in the beginning of April and I know this video is a little bit late, but I really wanted to talk about them before I get to the end of April and I have like 20 books to talk to you guys about, so let's go ahead and get started. There was a really exciting new release that I just had to read at the beginning of April, and that was Saga Volume 7. But before I read Saga Volume 7, I decided to reread Saga Volume 6 to kind of like jog my memory, and it was just as good, if not better, than I remember. And then I continued on to Saga Volume 7, which was so good. The ending of 6 just led into a really great storyline for 7, and I just cannot get enough of this series. I really wish that I would catch up with like the individual things, like the individual comics, but I just never get around to it, which leaves me waiting almost like 9 months for the new volume to come out, and it's so frustrating, but I love this series. It's just an epic romance between these two different species from two different planets, and those two planets just happen to be at war with one another. It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet, but not really. The whole story is told from the perspective of their daughter, who is obviously mixed breed between these two species, and both of the planets that are at war with one another from these two species are trying to get to them because what they're doing is illegal, but they love each other and they want to have a whole family, and just the crazy antics that they go through are just so funny, and the drama and the real life family problems that happen with this story are so crazy. Even though these are basically two aliens, compared to humans, they still have real life drama. There's fighting, and then there's getting back together and having marriage problems and drug abuse, and just, there's real problems that real people deal with, and that's why I love this series, and it is an awesome series, and I cannot wait for Volume 8, but like I said, I'm going to be waiting a while. Then I picked up Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry, which is the sequel to The Giver by Lois Lowry, and I was really hesitant going into this story because I knew that it took place in the same at first I thought it took place in the same community as The Giver did, but in actuality, what Lois Lowry did was really interesting. I had to look it up because when I started reading it, I was like, this is nothing like The Giver. So what Lois Lowry did was she took the society of The Giver and she did like a complete opposite of that. Like we start off with the beginnings of the society, and then what two paths can it go down? The Giver was very technologically advanced and civil, and Gathering Blue was just kind of like the opposite of that. They still had civilization, but it was more poor, and it wasn't as technologically advanced, and it wasn't just civilized, you could say, as the one in The Giver. But both were really, really great stories, and I have a feeling where it's going in the third book, because I think the two stories merge at some point. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I'm really excited. I think Lois Lowry is a genius for how she connected these two novels, and I cannot wait to finish that with the series. The next two books that I read were the final two books in the Generations trilogy from Scott Siegler. They are A Light and Alone, and I don't want to tell you anything about these specifically because of course they would be big spoilers for the whole series, but just know that I gave both of them a 4 out of 5 stars. They were absolutely fantastic, and Alive, which is the first book in the series, I'll give you a bit of a synopsis because I think this series is great and I think everyone should read it. So basically, our main character wakes up and she realizes that she's trapped in a coffin. After escaping this coffin, she is in a room filled with other coffins, and she opens up these other coffins, and some of the people in the coffins are alive and some of them are dead, and they have to, like, all the people who are alive kind of like leave the big room that they're in, and they realize that they're like trapped in some sort of building or vehicle, they don't know, and they're just trying to escape, and none of them remember who they are or how they got there or anything about their lives before they got into the coffin, and so it's just kind of trying to figure out who they are and where they came from and why they were in these coffins. But it is a mixture of kind of like dystopian and sci-fi, and it's really, really good, you guys. I loved this series, and it's a little creepy too. Like, it got a little bit of a like thriller factor to it, and I just really, really enjoy it. So that's it for the books that I've actually finished, but I am in the middle of 3 books right now. Literally, like, in the middle of all 3 of these books, and it's a problem, you guys. I've just been so busy, and so I just pick up a book whenever it's convenient. So the first book that I'm in the middle of is My Lady Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows, and I actually started reading this with Chloe and Kat when we were on our way to Jacksonville for a book event, and that was a lot of fun. It's super funny. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this. We were listening to an audiobook. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this month, but I'm going to try. I'm going to have to read it in like physical format because I have the physical book up here somewhere, but I don't have the audiobook. But the first half that I read was so hilarious. Basically, it's about My Lady Jane, or the Lady Jane, who was the Queen of England for 8 days in between Henry VIII's son, I think his name was Edward, and she was the queen before Queen Mary. They call her Bloody Mary. So she was just queen for 8 days before she got her head chopped off. But Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows wanted to give My Lady Jane a better ending. They really liked her, and they wanted to like kind of rewrite her story. And it's supposed to be like a comedy, and it's hilarious. And there's a bit of like magic involved in there with like symbolism to religion. And but it's meant to be a parody, and it's so funny. And as a historian, like I majored in history in college, I could really see the similarities between these magical people and basically like the Protestants of the time. I think these authors are just hilarious, and I cannot wait to finish this half of the book. The next book that I'm in the middle of is The Star-Touched Queen by Rashani Chokshi. This is going pretty slow for me. Like, I like the book. I think it's interesting. It was not what I expected. Like, when you read a book that's like folklore of your let's say it's like folklore of where you grew up, like American folklore, right? You're familiar with it, you know where the story is going, and you know what little things did they change, or what did they, what in the story did they keep the same, and stuff like that. And so I feel like when they're stories from a culture that I'm not familiar with, it's really hard for me to kind of like grasp the concept. And so that's why I think this is going a little bit slow for me, because I feel like it just has a lot of mythology and folklore and religious aspects from the Middle East that I'm just not familiar with. Hopefully I'll finish it soon. This is like my #1 priority right now, but I just don't have a lot of time recently. So hopefully I'm going to finish this one soon, and hopefully I enjoy the second half of it. And last but not least, I'm in the middle of listening to 13 Reasons Why by James Asher on audiobook, and I am addicted, you guys. So I'm trying to slow my pace on this one because I want to read The Star-Touched Queen first, but this is so good. Like, I'm done. I don't even remember the main character's name because I like just started yesterday. I'm halfway through. Okay, cannot stop. Or 2 days ago. I started it 2 days ago, but I just cannot stop listening to it, you guys. Maybe I'll just bite the bullet and finish 13 Reasons Why so I can move on to The Star-Touched Queen, because this is so good. I also want to listen to this because I just want to watch the TV show. Like, everyone is raving about the TV show, and now I need to watch it. But I had to read the book first, you guys, of course. Had to read the book. So, yes, those are all of the books that I have read this first half of April, or I'm in the middle of reading. Hopefully I will get done with some of these, and I will let you guys know at the end of the month what I thought of them. If you guys would like to see more of my videos, you can click right here. And if you like these videos that you're seeing, you can subscribe by clicking my face right here. That would just make me oh so happy. But definitely check out all the links in the description below, all of my social medias and things like that, so we can connect on other platforms. And that's all I have for you guys today, so I will see you in my next video. Bye!